LSU. I said, they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going out to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up. Hey, back and back it on up. Hey, back and back it on up. Hey, back and back it on up. Hey.
EA, we live. Let's go. What's up, everybody? We got a fantastic show for you. We're going to kick it back a little bit tonight. We're going to have a little fun show. We're going to try to interact with y'all a whole lot more tonight and get y'all involved. But look, LSU baseball is playing tonight. We were gonna go after the game ended, but the game's lasting a little bit longer than we thought it would, and it'll probably end in the 7th inning. I think one of y'all can comment and give me the facts on that. I'm pretty sure it'll end in the 7th inning. It's a 10-run rule, I think, in the 7th, and they'll probably call it. But it was going a lot longer than we had expected, so we just went ahead and kicked it off. And we figured y'all would all kind of join in since the game was pretty much over with anyway. But we appreciate y'all joining in, and we're excited about tonight's show and interacting with y'all. Zach, LSU baseball started off a little struggle bus, but they got it going. And obviously the game's still going on right now, and we can kind of give you some live thoughts about it and what's going on throughout the show until the game is over. But Zach, what have you seen so far tonight that you like?
Obviously the hitting. I mean, they're hitting the ball all over the yard. Hayden Travinski, obviously y'all saw our opening thumbnail. Hayden Travinski is really hot right now. He's a guy that I don't know if you can take him out of the lineup. And apparently we got word before the game that Milazzo was going to get the start. And then, I don't know if he just didn't feel well. I messaged Cody. He said that's what he believes happened, that he just didn't feel well. Maybe tweaked something a little bit and just didn't feel safe playing. And so they insert Travinski into the lineup. And it worked out. It's kind of like the Braden Jobert situation at the beginning of the season. Beloso gets hurt, and it works out. We also kind of have some breaking news, Reagan. Apparently, Beloso had his bat in hand, his helmet on, his gloves on, and was going to come into the game. Actually, I just got word from Cody. Beloso is going to get an at-bat.
Woo!
So, breaking news.
Yeah. We need like a siren. Breaking news. Or like a doesn't Blake have a
Yeah, he's got I don't know what he's got. He's got some sort of little board. It's pretty cool. And so Beloso's gonna get at bat. So I'm gonna have to pull up this game and pull it back up because I turned it off because at a certain point you're just like, well, there's no really point in watching this anymore because they're just going to keep rotating pitchers, and LSU's going to keep rotating players out in the field, and that's kind of already started. Yeah, it's over with. All I got to say, Reagan, is this is what I wanted to see. You want to see LSU do this to a team like Grambling, and all due respect to Grambling, but you want to see LSU do this during the midweeks, and they've had some struggles during the midweeks, but not tonight. And I hope, tonight carries over into this weekend because you've got a really, really tough opponent. And we'll cover it more on Friday as we recap the game on Friday night.
Yeah.
But LSU's got a tough opponent that's actually struggling right now themselves in Mississippi State. They haven't had the greatest start to the year, coming off a defending national championship.
Yep.
And, it's a big series for LSU. You got to go on the road to Duty Noble and both teams kind of struggling, and both teams a chance to take a higher position in the SEC West. So, a game like this can be a big motivator, but it also can kind of be just like we're just kind of going through the motions because this team that we're playing isn't that good. But they luckily, I don't think they've done that tonight. They've really hit the ball well. Interestingly, though, Reagan, you saw that Jay Johnson did flip the lineup, put some new guys in there.
Yep.
Collier Cranford gets put in at short. K. Doty gets moved over to third, which we know you've been talking about for a while now. And, Thompson stays at second. So, interesting to see, and Collier Cranford has actually gotten some hits tonight. So, really encouraging early from the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing what you wanted them to do, kind of like you said. This is what you wanted to see on a night like this. The only thing I have with this is I wish that Bianco would have been the guy at short. I think he has a little bit better bat than Cranford. And to be honest with you, I think he would probably do just as good at shortstop as Cranford did. And then, I mean, right off the bat in the first inning, you had a guy at first base, and Cranford took his time a little bit too much trying to make a decision on whether to try to get the lead runner at second or to go ahead and make the throw to first, and he took a little bit too long on trying to make that decision, and the runner was safe at first. Now, obviously, I can't make the statement, well, Bianco would have made the right choice there, and he would have got it easily, right? But, I like the fact that Bianco, being a coach's son, he typically makes the right decisions a lot when it comes to fielding. And he makes his decisions timely, being a coach's son. One of the plays last year, I believe it was in the regional, when he was playing in the outfield, or I can't remember if it was regional. Honestly, I don't even remember the opponent, but he made a play out in center field. He threw to third base, and you typically wouldn't see an outfielder do what he did in that situation. But being a coach's son and being at the ball field as probably much as he is, and having that IQ, he was able to read the defense or read the base runners quickly and make that decision and throw to third. And he actually got the out on the play, and it was really impressive. And I just think in situations like that, like where Collier Cranford was kind of in between, couldn't make a decision, didn't know where to go, a guy like Bianco, however you say it, would be able to make a decision more swiftly. And most of the time, he's going to make the right decision. And also, I think I said this earlier, but I like his bat better than Cranford's. Cranford got a hit tonight, yes, but I don't want to give too much to that because and he's got on base a lot, I think, because of walks. I mean, all due respect to Grambling, their pitching tonight has been atrocious. Maybe one guy was pretty good. But looking at the numbers with some of the guys that were coming up, they had more walks than they had strikeouts. The amount of hits that they had allowed and their ERA that they had allowed was pretty significant compared to the pitchers we're used to seeing. So I don't want to make too much of that with Collier Cranford's hit and him getting on base because, I mean, let's be honest, I think the opponent has a little bit to do with that tonight.
Sure.
So I don't mind the move, though. Obviously, I've been saying, hey, put Doty at third, put Doty at third, put Doty at third. I think that's where he's most comfortable at, and I think that's where he belongs. But the issue with putting Doty at third and then throwing another guy in the lineup is, what do you do with Jacob Berry?
Exactly.
And he made the decision tonight to put him out and right, and then you immediately saw the effects of that.
Yeah.
He misread a ball. It was labeled a hit, It was honestly an error. It should have been an
Yeah.
out because he way misjudged the ball, and it cost him. In fact, it cost us, I think, 2 runs or at least a run. So if you're going to take Gio out and put Doty at third and then put another player at shortstop like Cranford, like Bianco, I think you need to DH Barry. And I think you need to give Joe Bear a shot out and right. Joe Bear is faster than Barry is. I mean, that may just be, that's my personal opinion from what I've seen on the base pads. Joe Bear is no joke when it comes to some speed, like to getting around the bags. I don't think he's like Dylan Cruz or maybe Jordan Thompson or Trey Morgan on the bags, but he's pretty quick for his size. And I think he's definitely faster than Barry is. So I really would rather, if you're going to do that, and I think it is a smart move. I really do. I think if you put Bianco there at short, you'll like what you see defensively a lot more, because I think Doty is comfortable at third. I think Bianco is solid anywhere on the field, honestly. And I think Joe Bear would probably, I mean, even though we haven't seen it during, fall and preseason, he was playing out right field. And you weren't hearing much negativity about that. In fact, you saw a lot of people predicting Joe Bear as your right fielder. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised
we did.
Yeah, like I'm surprised that on a night like tonight, when you're playing Grambling, that's something I feel like you should try out as a coach. Throwing him out there and seeing how he handles it. And you can't take Jacob Berry out of the lineup. I mean, you just can't. But I think his role is best played at DH, honestly, in this team. And it probably was his best role at Arizona as well. But you just haven't got to see it yet. I mean, but Jacob Berry is the hottest hitter on the team right now. I mean, he's hit in several games consecutively. He had several hits this past weekend. He had 2 hits I know of at least tonight. Or no, he had 3. He had a home run and he's had 2 singles. So you can't take him out of the lineup, but I think he needs to come off the field, honestly. I think it'll be best for him to be at the DH spot. And let's see what Joe Bear can do on the right. Some other things you've liked to see. The pitching has been pretty decent tonight. It's actually been pretty good. Honestly,
Overall,
we should
the
have
season, it's
0
been
runs.
great.
Honestly, you should have given up no runs tonight. We have had
and
a
Reagan
lot
on the season. They are top. I'm pretty sure they're top 4, top 3, possibly in the SEC in pitching and hitting. So
yeah. So the pitching tonight was actually good, but again, we have loved what we've seen out of Travinsky and his bat. I mean, the dude has been hitting, and he's been hitting a ton. But he had 3 strikeouts tonight that got past him. Now, some of them may have been miscommunication. I don't know about all that. Do you sacrifice Malazzo's defense when he's healthy for the offense of Travinsky, or do you sacrifice offense for the defense of Malazzo when he's healthy? Like, I think that's something Jay Johnson's really going to have to consider because Travinsky's bat has really helped us a lot lately. It really has. I mean, tonight you saw what he did, and that's been the norm for him. You saw Malazzo in the lineup. We kind of mentioned that a little bit, but I guess his knee's still bothering him, but it worked out. I mean, Travinsky's has hit 2 bombs tonight. He has been consistently hitting, and I think you're going to have a tough decision if Travinsky, if we come in when it comes to the whole Milazzo Travinsky, I mean, I've really enjoyed his bat. Honestly, when it comes to that, you kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I lean offensive, honestly. Blake says, I don't understand people blaming defensive issues on Hayden. Yeah, all the defensive issues have not been Hayden's fault. I've seen a lot where they've been kind of laying the stuff at Travinsky's feet, and that's just not true. There has been a time or two when he probably should have gotten a ball, like the last one he got that he allowed to go by him. He should have blocked it up. He tried to kind of snag it with his glove, and he should have got down and blocked it. But that's stuff I feel like that he can work on with the coaches if they want to keep his bat in the lineup. We've seen a few times when he's actually had a really good arm too, and throwing guys out. So I think that's a decision you're going to have to make. What do you think about that with Milazzo? It's seeming like he is about to be healthy. What do you make of that decision with Jay Johnson?
Well, the way that Hayden Travinsky is hitting right now, I don't think you can take him out of the lineup. I mean, the way that he's hitting right now, that'd be like asking Jay Johnson to take out Braden Jobert or taking out, somebody that's hitting like Jacob Berry. And you're just not going to do that. Like, the dude is hitting. I believe Blake stated it in the last show that on Monday night, last night, the dude's hitting like 500 something in SEC play. Like, he's really tearing
it's really good.
The baseball up right now, and you're just not going to take somebody that is hitting like that out of the lineup. At least you shouldn't, in my opinion.
You're not going to get that from Milazzo. I mean, unfortunately,
and you're not.
You're not.
Do you have better defense whenever Milazzo's out there? Yes. Do you probably take runners off the base paths when Milazzo's out there? Yes. But to me, LSU is in a position right now to where they're going to have to outscore opponents. Like, it's kind of gotten to that point where we realize what the defense is because it's been consistently bad. It'd be one thing if it, happened over a small span of games or, was here and there spotty. But, and Adam B just came in. Beloso deck.
Is on deck. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm going to have to pull up the game. Exciting news for Beloso. Who had just the kind of a freak accident opening the game, opening night. Yeah, and now that's a huge question. What do you do with Beloso
if he comes out red hot?
Yeah, Reagan, that's a big question. We talked about that last night, at least the other night in the spaces. I know that third base is not where a lot of people really want Jacob Berry at, but I feel like he's more of a liability over in right than he is at third. Yeah. In my opinion, I think he is better off at third than he is in right field.
Yeah.
So if Beloso comes back, I think you stick Braden Jobert in right. I think you put Doty at short. You put Berry at third. You put Thompson at second. Trey, of course, stays at first because I know a lot of people are going to go, well, what about K. Beloso, putting him at first and moving out, Trey Morgan in the right field? I would not do that. I would not suggest that either. I don't think Jay Johnson will go that route. And then you put Beloso at DH. Obviously he's still going to be
lineup.
and he's still going to be coming off the injury. I'm sure he's not completely 100%. I know he's batting right now, but he's probably not completely 100%. And so, a better thing for him would to be in a DH role to where he's not having to play the field and maneuver his body and deal with play after play out in the field. Give him a DH position, let him hit, let him get back into the rhythm of the game. And I think, like you said, Reagan, that's probably your best offensive lineup.
I mean, no doubt. I mean, if Beloso's not going to be in the lineup, like if you want Beloso in the lineup, how you just said is probably your best option. But if you're not going to have Beloso in the lineup, Beloso almost just put one in the gap. The center fielder ran it down, but he almost put one in the gap, y'all. Inning over, but that was good to see Beloso up to bat. That was awesome. I hate that the season started off the way it did for him, but We've liked to see what Joe Bear's done. But back to what I was saying, I think if you want Beloso in the lineup, that's what you're going to have to do. I fully agree with that. If not, if he still needs to continue to heal, whatever it may be, I think you put Barry at DH and you put Joe Barron right and put Bianco at short. If you want your defense to be better, that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. But if you want
and that's been the question, Reagan. What bats do you sacrifice in order to put out your best fielding team out there?
I think you sacrifice Milazzo's bat. I would rather have. To think about it honestly, you are sacrificing Gio's bat if you put Bianco out at short. I mean, that's honestly what you're doing, because if you want to, and
Beloso though, if Beloso's healthy,
yeah. So if you want solid defensive play, maybe not your best, but solid, I think you put Cranford or Bianco, whatever, at short, Doty at third, Braden Jobert at right, Barry DH. That's going to probably be your best defensive and offensive lineup at the same time, with Travinski behind the plate. Like, you're sacrificing some at some places, and I think you're sacrificing a little bit of both in that situation, right? You're sacrificing maybe a better bat for Bianco to be at short. And is Gio really a better hitter than Bianco? I'm not. Maybe a little bit better, but not much that I think you would put Barry back at third and Doty at short, and then Gio back and right for. I don't think there's enough there to do that, in my opinion. I would rather see it.
I think you have to label some guys as the untouchables. Guys that you are not going to take out of the lineup. And, those guys that are untouchables are, in my opinion right now, Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan, K. Doty, Jacob Berry, Braden Jobert, and at this point, Hayden Travinski. And that's 6 guys, Reagan. That's basically your entire lineup. Gavin Dugas, he's been struggling a little bit right now. Hasn't had the greatest season like he did a year ago. But I expect him to kind of pick things up. It seems like he just maybe hasn't been seeing the ball well. He struck out a lot. Even in the Auburn series this past weekend, he struck out a lot. And a lot of those were swinging, but some of those were, not swinging. And so, I don't want to sacrifice Dugas, but maybe that's something that they need to do for a game, or maybe that's something they need to do for a series to try and wake him up, because we know that Dugas can hit, and me and you both love Gavin Dugas. We want him in the lineup. I'd prefer him to be in the lineup. But maybe, with this shuffling of the lineup and Beloso seems like now he's potentially available, maybe that's something that Jay Johnson does to try and wake up Gavin Dugas a little bit, because I have been a little disappointed with his season so far. Not in an angry or upset way, but you just want to see him get going.
Yeah, I think he will. I honestly do think he will. He was seeing the ball so well at the end of the season. It was impressive. Gavin saved us so many times last season. Specifically the Texas San Antonio game, when it was back and forth in extra innings and it felt like it was over with. And then with two outs, 2 strikes, it felt like it was over with. Gavin hits a 2-run home run to tie it again, and then we go on to win that game. And then you look at the Eugene series. Gavin was big in that series. I think he hit 2 home runs in one game, maybe in the first game we played them. But I think he'll get going at some point in the season, and I hope to see that, especially being the leader of the team, the senior on the team, wearing number 8. You want to see that for him. Also, Michael Fowler is on the mound tonight. I think this is his first appearance of the season. I was actually mentioning that to Bobby before we got on. 2 guys that you haven't seen that you saw on the roster, that was Michael Fowler and Jason Bowman in the pitching that you haven't seen yet. Also,
I
another
think he
guy is
might have
Jacob
appeared
Hasty.
early in the season, but
Really?
I could be wrong on that. But nonetheless, he hasn't been out there hardly at all this season,
Yeah, maybe somebody can give us
if
an
at all.
update on Jason Bowman. I wanted to know about him as well. Maybe he's got an injury or whatnot, or and Hasty as well. That's another left-handed pitcher that you could put in the lineup. But it looks like the Tigers are going to capitalize on this one. We were trying to get away to get one of our cousins on here, Mr. Leighton Sheremy. He is a State fan. Unfortunately, he works during our show during the times we do the show. But we were going to have him on to give us some reaction or some thoughts on the series with State. He said that all you need to know about this year with State is that Sims is done for the year, which we knew that. He said their hitting is inconsistent. They're a very young team with loads of talent, but they just don't have the experience yet. And that seems like what it really has been for State. Considering who they've lost to and just how they've struggled. The loss to Landon Sims was huge. But I like the Tigers in this series. I really do, considering the struggles of State, considering how we played on the road against Florida. I think we can really go in here and have a great series this weekend.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. And what he mentioned, what Leighton mentioned about State is, some similarities there with LSU. A young team that's been inconsistent, and so it's going to be interesting to see which team breaks through this weekend with both of the teams in a similar position.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing I wanted to mention, then we'll move forward here with baseball. As I know we've been upset, maybe a little disappointed with what has happened here recently, especially with the way it has happened with the fielding. You are honestly still not in a bad position with the SEC. Looking at the standings, I mean, you don't have worse of a record than anybody in the West other than two teams. Arkansas is number 1, and Auburn is number 2 at 5-4. If you win this past weekend series, you're second in the SEC, which is tough to swallow considering how we lost and who we lost to, it being Auburn. Auburn is at second in the West right now. I don't think that's how it finishes, but every other team in the West is 4-5 other than Auburn and Arkansas. And you also look at the East. Obviously, Tennessee is the top. And you have Vanderbilt.
On top of everybody.
On top of everybody. And then you have Vanderbilt. But I can't remember how many, but the rest of them are 3 and 6 in the SEC. So honestly, you are not in a bad position in the SEC. You have 7 weekends left in the SEC. You can turn it around. And here's an interesting fact. Last year, through 3 series of the SEC, you were 1-8. You're 4-5 right now. Last year, you were 1-8 to start SEC play through 3 weekends. So you're honestly off to a better start than last year. Not what you expected maybe out of this season, but you're in a good position. You're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. So go take care of business this weekend in Starkville and get yourself back in the running. Honestly, you can be right back to second place if you take care of business in Starkville this weekend. Yes, Bo Landry, 3 up, 3 down. Michael Fowler looked really good right there in that 1 inning of play. That was a really great outing for him. Finally, a pitcher that isn't afraid to throw off speed. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I felt like we've seen a lot of fastballs out of pitchers this year. Specifically, I mean, like Ty Floyd, which I feel like you haven't seen in a while, which is, maybe Jay Johnson's putting him aside for a little bit to improve, and then we'll see him again. But you do like seeing the off speed. All right, we need to move forward from baseball here. We've gone a little long on baseball. Hey, anybody on Twitter? We cannot see your comments. We can't throw them up there, unfortunately. So if you want to interact and you want to comment, click off of Twitter and move over to the YouTube channel or the Facebook channel, and we can get your comments up. We would love to interact with y'all and throw your comments up as much as possible. So if you're on Twitter,
And hey, all of our
comment, jump over.
And all our viewers that are watching now, y'all hit the like button, hit the share button. Share to all your social media pages, share to your Facebook groups, and invite your friends to come in, especially here soon for our Tell Me TA segment.
Absolutely, we're gonna have a Tell Me TA segment to cap it off. We want to hear from all y'all. So y'all get in there and comment, and we would love to get to all y'all stuff. All right, Zach,
on
we're
Twitter,
moving.
go to YouTube.
Yeah, come to YouTube. Come to YouTube or Facebook. Move from the diamond here, and we'll move forward to some football action. Zach, what is the latest on spring football? Some recruiting updates. Honestly, haven't heard much here lately. I don't know if you got to see the Frank Wilson video today or when it came out. I'm not exactly sure, but I love the Frank Wilson. I love the videos that LSU media has been putting out with spring practice, letting you kind of know the coaches and where they're at and how they're getting into the groove of things with the new staff. And moving into spring practice, you saw obviously the Brian Kelly one, the Den Brock one, and now you've seen Frank Wilson. I really love those, and I think they're great for the program. Anything new that you can update on?
So I'll go recruiting first, and then I'll come back to some spring and just some things that I've taken from the spring practice. So two things in recruiting. So Tyler Steen obviously has been one of LSU's big targets on the offensive line, a guy that they are trying to get to come to Baton Rouge, potentially a guy that would come in and be an immediate starter. Obviously, he would have to compete for that position, but very likely a guy that would come in and be an immediate impact guy, a starter on your offensive line once you go into Florida State. I'm hearing word that potentially leaning towards Bama now.
We may have lost Zach there. If he comes back in, I'll let him finish his statement. You'd hate to see Tyler Steen, another player, wind up at Alabama. I mean, they don't need him. They don't need him. Come to LSU. Come to LSU. I mean, I'm sure that Saban has an incredible pitch. We all know that. Yes, Falcon Meals, frozen Zach. Yes. Unfortunately, Zach has to deal with some pretty irritating internet, unfortunately. And it plays in our show like this, and we got to figure that out. And now you're having to just look at my ugly face without Zach. There's Zach. Come to the balcony. Yeah, no, not Bama. Come to the balcony. We would love for your Tyler Steen to come to the balcony, not Bama. 100%. Zach, if you could finish your back in here, your thoughts there on Tyler Steen. You back in here?
Yes, I'm back. I had to get my audio and everything fixed. Balcony Bengals in here. Zach frozen. Yes, unfortunately, Balcony Bengals, we deal with internet issues a lot. So hopefully we can get those things corrected here soon. So I'm hearing words that Tyler Steen is leaning Bama, unfortunately. That doesn't mean that LSU is out of it by any means. I'm sure LSU is going to make a really big push on him before his decision. I think we are being told that there would be a decision early this week, and there still hasn't been a decision yet. So I think there's a lot that's going on right now with Tyler Steen in the transfer portal between him, LSU, and Bama. Michael Daughtry had a really good visit to LSU, expecting a possible commitment from him here in maybe a week or so, potentially. So something to monitor there with Michael Daughtry. He seems like he's an LSU lean. So that's really exciting for LSU. That's all I got on the recruiting front. Now, spring football, I'll tell you player ranking that's really stood out to me here recently from just watching the footage on YouTube and all that type of, and just all the things that we can see through social media. And our friends Balcony Bengals are in here, so maybe they can give us some of their thoughts on who they think has looked good so far from what they're hearing. But to me, Corey Connors looked really good. I know we've mentioned John Emery But Corey Connor has slimmed up a bit, and I've seen a lot of him. He looks like he's in really good physical form.
AD.
And I'm excited for him. I know we've also got Noah Kane. Noah Kane, of course, will not be coming in until the summer or close to the fall, I believe. So I know there's a lot of guys there, but Corey Connor has looked good. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk surrounding Miles Brennan, and there's been a lot of talk surrounding, this 65-yard touchdown that he threw. But I do want to say that he also has looked good. In the footage that I've seen him, he's looked more poised. You can really see the work that BK and Denbrock has done with him, and that's very encouraging. Now, Reagan, here is something that I want to mention about Miles Brennan, because I know that there are a lot of people out there that they will listen to us, or they'll listen to Blake, or they'll listen to whoever. If you're in Twitter Spaces and you listen to different people's opinions, and they get this idea that we are against Miles Brennan. I know for us, Reagan, we are not against Miles Brennan. In fact, it is my opinion. Yeah, first off, he comes from Mississippi, which obviously we are born and raised Mississippi, Memphis area. And so, him coming out of high school, we were a big fan of Miles Brennan, and we want to see Miles Brennan succeed, especially with him coming from Mississippi. He wears number 15, which is my favorite number. I wore it whenever I was playing football. Matt Flynn kind of sparked that passion in me with the number 15 jersey. And so we are by no means whatsoever, listeners, we are by no means against Miles Brennan. In fact, I think what would be best for LSU, the SIP. In fact, I believe what would be best for LSU, Reagan, and this may sound crazy to some of our listeners, to some of our viewers, those that are listening on the podcast, and those that are watching live now. It is, in my opinion, that the best case scenario for LSU is somebody like a Miles Brennan, somebody like a Garrett Nussmeier beats out Jaden Daniels, because that means that they outworked Jaden Daniels, and that the talent that they had on the field and through the work that they put in the spring, in the summer, in the fall, all of that carried into them becoming the starting guy. And so for me, that's best case scenario for LSU. A lot of people, they say, they want to know who the starter is, like by the end of the spring, or after the spring game. All these guys are coming in at me.
The 8th grade.
So, I can never get past AD and his jokes with me playing football in 8th grade. But listen, there's a lot of people that they look at the quarterback position, and whenever there's a QB competition, they want to know, by spring's end or before the fall gets started, before fall practice gets started, they want to know who the starter is. And I get that point. I get that, because you want to be able to have your guy that is getting all the reps with the ones. But it's of my opinion that it is better for LSU if you still go into the fall and there's still a competition. If you're getting close to Florida State and there's still competition, because that means that the guys, both the guys in the quarterback room, are pushing each other, that they are making it a hard decision for the coaching staff to make a decision on who will be the starter. And I fully believe that with this staff. In the last staff, maybe not. Maybe you're saying, oh, well, they're struggling to find out a starter because there's guys that they got 2 guys, 3 guys that aren't performing well, and they're trying to figure out who's the best. But in this situation, with Brian Kelly, with Joe Sloan, with Mike Denbrock, I have full confidence that if we get into the fall, if we get close to Florida State and there's still a QB competition, it's because those guys that Mike Denbrock and BK and Joe Sloan have put in the time with, they are doing their darndest to earn that starting role. And that's what I want to see. So in my opinion, I know a lot of people, they're going, it's Jaden Daniels. Why would Jaden Daniels be brought in here? And I'm with that. Like, of my opinion, if you were to give me if I was a bet man, and I had to bet right now, I would say Jaden Daniels is going to be the starter against Florida State. But what I would love to see is somebody like Garrett Nussmeier, somebody like Miles Brennan, mainly not Miles Brennan, because it seems like those are the top two guys. It seems like it's Miles Brennan and JD, and it's their two, them two fighting it out for, it's their job to earn. And so for me, I would love to see it if somebody pushes JD, and this isn't something that's just handed to JD. And I know the staff, they're not going to do that. And so I love the work that Miles has been putting in the spring. I know we give him a lot of, criticism, and we assume that JD probably gets the job, but I love to see the work that Miles Brennan is putting in here early.
Balcony Bengals here saying, love everything we've seen from the staff. Totally different from the Order Circus. No question.
It was a circus.
I mean, you are seeing players I feel like be more responsible, obviously more accountable of each other. It's a different feel. I mean, they are expected, I think, a lot more than what they were before. And I'm excited about it. I mean, the talent that we have, what you can do with some discipline with the talent we have it's an awesome thought to consider what LSU can be with the talent that we have. And then you pair it with some discipline and some competence and responsibility and accountability.
And good play calling.
Good play calling, not first time ever play calling. Lord of mercy. Instead, you have Denbrock, who's been calling plays for years, called plays for a national championship team, called plays for a team who was just in the playoffs. So, yeah, you love this. You love this. One player I've really liked to see so far, and the video clip has kind of gotten around, is Malik Neighbors. For him as a sophomore, to be telling a guy like Joe Fouché, who's played in the SEC for several years,
hey,
I told
captain in the SEC.
Yeah, a captain,
a senior veteran player,
SEC West team. For him to go and snag a ball in the end zone like that, and then turn to Fouché and be like, "Hey, I told you it's going to take a long time." Hey, you gotta love it, man. I mean,
competition builds character.
We are. It seems really competitive out there. Not a bad competition. Like, that seems like a good competition, right? Like a push you to be better competition. I mean, based off that statement, it sounds like, they've had other conversations, right? Like, hey, man, I told you it's going to take you a long time. You love that kind of stuff. I mean, what you're seeing coming out of spring practice, you love to see. And that's what is so awesome about what Brian Kelly has done for the media is you're getting to see more of what they're doing. And I feel like that almost brings a more their whole thing is accountability. And when you open things up completely, that almost brings more accountability to the coaching staff to do, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And you love that. Wide receiver university versus DBU, can't beat it. Hey, I don't care what anybody says about Alabama's receivers, whatever. The numbers don't lie. Since 2000, ain't nobody had more receivers drafted than LSU. And who's performing the best?
Now. Exactly.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry.
Guys like DJ Chark, Russell Gage.
Come on, man.
Hey, and you know what also is interesting? He mentioned DBU. Greg Brooks has been going off.
Greg Brooks has been having a good one.
He's been going off. Y'all in the chat, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure from what I've gathered, he's had 6 interceptions in the last 5 days of practice. I could be wrong on that, so y'all fact check me on that. But I mean, holy cow! I mean, the dude's getting he's averaging over an interception a day in practice. I mean, he's picking off everybody left and right. Jaden Daniels, Miles Brennan, Walker Howard, Gus Nussmeier. He's just taking everybody. He's and what I think Blake said it in his show the other day. He's a junior Tyrann Mathieu. He's turning into a junior Tyrann Mathieu. Like, he takes what he wants.
And Tyrann Mathieu put it out there. Like, hey, he said Tyrann Mathieu tweeted, "Hey, Greg Brooks is next up."
Yep.
And you love to see it. And our good friend Austin Louis, Mr. Louis, he came on our show and said that Greg Brooks had not reached his ceiling yet. That
I actually texted him yesterday.
Do more than what he had at Arkansas. And you love to see it. The Tigers land to smack it down on these Rudy Poos. They really are. They really are. Our backups are hitting. It's kind of hilarious. I mentioned Michael Fowler, Jason Bowman, and Jacob Hasty. Michael Fowler just came in last inning, and now Jacob Hasty is in the seventh. So we'll see what Jacob Hasty can do here. Hopefully to close the game out. If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it ends here in the seventh.
They were up 15-3. I mean, you should. Are you seeing the score there?
Yes. So I mean, it's 16-3 now. So I think it should end here.
I believe
it's 9:45.
Probably in the seventh. Yeah, man. And we were planning on starting this after the game.
Yeah.
Once you saw the second inning, it was like, yeah, we're going early.
Haller did look good, man. He did. Appreciate you commenting and interacting, Balcony Bengals. All right, we need to move forward here so we can get to our Tell Me TA segment. We're going to hit a quick break, and then we will get to the Tell Me TA segment. So y'all go ahead and start firing them in and hitting your Tell Me TA. Tell me something good. And we'll get to them right after this. 5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. 5-Star Hero. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law.
Guys, we want to encourage you to go and check out our website at tigersavenue.podbean.com. You can find the playlist to our YouTube as well as all of our latest episodes on the front page. If you go to the pages link, you can find 5-Star Heroes merch and all of his beats that are available on Apple Music and Spotify. If you go to our sponsors, you can see all of the sponsors that support Tigers Avenue and check out all of their info. If you check out the Tiger Times page, you can go and see all of our games that we've attended at Alex Box Stadium, Tiger Stadium, and the PMAC through the years. And if you click on the support page, you can go and find the QR codes for our Cash App and our PayPal to support Tigers Avenue. Again, all of this you can find at tigersavenue.podbean.com.
Yeah, Tell Me TA. Y'all need to get them in here. Y'all need to get them in here so we can get to it. Tell Me TA. Zach, it looks like somebody had commented, I think it's Carl Dunn, said they're already getting ready to call the game. I mean, you kind of figure
Hallelujah.
Jacob Hasty's already got one out. Man, the lineup out there right now is pretty you got, it looks like Tyler McManus is over at first.
Probably a whole new team out there.
Luke Lito is typically your backup first baseman or one who has been playing first base whenever you kind of sub in the whole team, sub everybody out, sub everybody in. Luke Lito's been the one over at first, but he's got McManus at first, and it looks, I can't tell where Luke Lito's at, but you also got Merrifield out there and Josh Pearson and Josh Stevenson and somebody else out there as well. But really good win here for the Tigers to capitalize on the midweek. You really hope to see the Tigers go at least 3-1 this weekend. We need a 3-1 week. We need a 3-1. It'd be awesome to get a 4-0 week, but but hey, we're not seeing any Tell Me TA. Come on, guys. We need some Tell Me TA up in here so we can have some discussion.
I'll get it started, Reagan. Tell Me TA. Actually, I think I'm about to bust you out, Reagan. I am about to bust you out. All of our listeners on the podcast, all of our watchers, I'm gonna tell you a little secret about Reagan. See, Reagan has a nickname. All right. Now, y'all have been calling me Shorty. You know, I get it, 5'7". Y'all have been calling me Zach Efron.
I ain't ashamed.
All these different things. But Reagan has a nickname. We call him Roo. Roo. So tell me, Roo, what is your opinion of the comments that Shaquille O'Neal made on LSU? Not let me see how I want to phrase this. Catering, not giving the best opportunities, I guess, for Sharif. You know, what's your take on that? And you know, we've got a handful of people watching right now. Y'all sending your Tell Me TA questions and
come on, guys. Y'all slacking on us right now. Zach, I think frozen, but I'll answer his Tell Me TA. What are my thoughts on the Shaquille O'Neal comments? I'm not too fond of them, honestly. I think Will Wade, if we can say anything, I know he's a cheater and everybody hates him, whatever. I'm over the whole Will Wade thing. I love Will Wade to death. Look, Balcony Bengals, I know y'all love Will Wade. I know y'all loved him to death, but I'm starting to try to move on. My heart is trying to move on from that. And but if we can say all things about Will Wade, I think it's that he cared about his players. And I think that Shaquille O'Neal coming on and saying that they didn't take care of Sharif O'Neal is, I hate to say this, I think it's kind of an ignorant statement. I think he was well taken care of in his injuries. I think he was very like we really took time with him, and we spaced out his time, and we started giving him some minutes, you know, and kind of worked him back in. I think his statement of they didn't take care of him was my guy didn't get his minutes like he should have type of statement. You know, because his comment was, you know, they didn't take care of him. He needs to go somewhere where he can show off his talent and blah, 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 blah. So I think he was honestly kind of jaded that he didn't get much playing time. Come to the balcony, Shaq. I think it's kind of, I don't know. I didn't appreciate it, honestly. And honestly, as an LSU alum, I feel like you should do better by your alumni. And I mean, come on, dude. He was at Arizona. He was at UCLA. LSU is his third school, and he's transferring again. Do you really think it's the school's fault? Come on, guys. Come on. All right, we got some Tell Me TAs in here. Throw them up there. Predictions for the Masters, Zach.
Okay, first off, Balcony Bengals. Love you guys. I'm looking forward to the next time we're in Baton Rouge and get to hang out with y'all. Our boy Bobby, our producer behind the scenes, is planning actually our next trip to Baton Rouge. It'll be Friday night, the 22nd of this month, and Saturday, the 23rd for the spring game. Balcony Bengals, I got to be honest with you. I do not watch golf, but you know what kind of golf I do watch? And if AD's watching right now, he's going to hate me for this, and Reagan probably too. I watch disc golf. I love me some disc golf. And guess what? The disc golf season has just started. If y'all ever want to watch some really good disc golf, go on YouTube, go subscribe to Jomez Pro, and they release all of the tournaments. The Disc Golf Pro Tour is going on right now. And yes, hashtag nerd alert. And I'm pumped. Reagan, I got to go out the other day. I got to play me some disc golf. The weather was beautiful. It was nice. And I went and I shot me we only played the front nine. We played the front nine. I shot 2 down, went back. I shot 4 down on the back 9.
There you go.
6 down on my first time back for it was 5 minutes. Oh no, gosh.
Hey, I gotta tell you something, guys.
I'll zip it with the disc golf.
Y'all want to know something? You're looking at a collegiate disc golf player.
Yes, sir.
They beat Ole Miss
twice.
They beat Ole Miss. Anyway,
we beat them twice. We also
with the Masters. Again, I don't like Zach. I don't watch much golf. I try to watch sometimes because my in-laws are big time golf family. So I try to watch. I try to keep up so I can maybe have some conversation with my in-laws every now and then. I think it's kind of cool that Tiger might play. That would be kind of incredible considering the injury that he had. But just for you, Balcony Bengals, I will keep up with it as much as I can. They play during they play during the day, and I have classes during the day. But we will see how it goes. So, 2 Koreans. Bobby is 1/4 Korean, so he's got to throw that out there. He's got to pull for his heritage, man. This is Gant, and my dad is going to be there without me. Dang, he's going to Augusta without you. Golly. All right, throw up the next Tell Me TA, Bobby. What's the next one?
I think it was AD down there. Yeah. Okay.
Who's your favorite all-time LSU athlete, regardless of sport?
It's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Yeah, that is a tough one. It is. It is. It sure is.
I mean, we're going to have to do an outlier because I feel like me and you would both say Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Shiesty. Joe Burr.
Shiesty Shades.
Yeah, our dude Brandon in the Balcony Bengals, he's got the Shiesty Shades.
Yeah, he does. He can flex them every now and then too.
So, but I mean, for me, Reagan, it's got to be between 2 guys. All right, and it's football. Me and you, we grew up on football, love football. That's our most favorite sport. Although I played some basketball, played some disc golf. I was probably better at both of those than I was football. But for me, it's got to be between Jacob Hester and Tyrann Mathieu. Jacob Hester is the reason that me and Reagan absolutely fell in love with LSU sports. If it's not for Jacob Hester, you probably don't have TA, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Is that fair to say, Reagan?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's fair to say if you don't have Jacob Hester, you don't have TA because Jacob Hester is the reason you won the Florida game in 2007. Jacob Hester is the reason you won a lot of games in 2007. I mean, he was a huge contributing factor to that 2007 team. He was LSU's, main back on that 2007 national championship team. You had guys like Keelan Williams. They had other guys there that were absolute studs. But yeah, for me, it's either him or Tyrann Mathieu because Tyrann Mathieu changed the game. I've never seen in my entire life a athlete, a football player play football and make the plays that Tyrann Mathieu did in 2011. I mean, the plays that he made were unreal. So for me, I don't know if I can just choose one AD, but it's probably between those 2. So you can hate me for not choosing one, but it's between those 2 for me.
Okay, so yes, I would say Joe Burrow. I think every LSU player.
He's the outlier.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a statue. I mean, nobody's ever gonna wear number 9 again. I mean, let's get real. Nobody's ever gonna wear.
What about you, AD?
Send us so let's not. I mean, so this may be a shock. Maybe a shock, maybe not. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu, Jacob Hester. I mean, yes. I think if we had to say, I think my most favorite, most fun to watch of all time is a more recent athlete, Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is really fun to watch.
I don't know if there was Tyrann Mathieu was an electric player, but an offensively an electrifying player like that just made so many incredible catches, so many just like blow the top off plays, incredible moments. I mean, I will forever.
Winnie Moss Diggs in the Bama game.
That's what I was about to say. I will forever remember the moment he went up and caught that touchdown after the Tua fumble. Incredible. I absolutely love it. I was thinking about saying Peyton. I was thinking about saying Pat P too because he's one of our
Devin White.
He's one of the ones who got us in there. Devin White, honorable mention. That dude's a freak athlete. That is a freak. I mean, for him to move across the field as fast as he is, as big as he is incredible. But I'm going to say Jamar Chase. I know that's more recent, but I can't recall a more electrifying offensive player than Jamar Chase. I mean, you think about Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. You think about, Terrence Tolliver and Travin Durrell and, who else? But, I mean, you think about those guys, I don't know if any of them are as electrifying as what Jamar Chase was. I mean, just a game changer.
So
he's
much fun to
incredible.
watch.
And he's one of the best receivers in the league already. I mean, that's hard to say. But all right, next, tell me, TA, what we got? Who's the best Hooper? Okay, it's Zach. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to say. Zach is. If you want me to be honest with you, if Zach had some height on him, he could really play basketball for real. Like, for real.
I don't know about that. I really don't know about that.
Let me tell you,
Danny Edley.
as a bigger dude, let me tell you something. As a bigger dude who isn't as fast as Zach, it is extremely obnoxious to play basketball with Zachary Lee because he is absolutely relentless with his speed and his effort to go get a rebound on his own miss. And he loves to shoot floaters because he's not tall enough to really just go in and drive over you. He's going to float it over you. And then when he knows he's missed it, he's going to sprint around you to get it. He is relentless. So, yeah, the best hooper.
I appreciate that, Reagan. I appreciate that.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a good hooper or whatever. I mean,
Reagan,
boy can shoot it every now and then.
If you put me and Reagan on the same team, it's over. Because my boy Reagan be getting the boards and the putbacks. I don't have to worry so much about getting the boards whenever my boy.
I step out every now and then.
My blood is there to get the putback.
What else we got, Bobby? Throw it in there. Let's see. Tell me, TA, what is your favorite balcony nest? Come on, balcony Bengals.
You already know.
Easy. The one with the squirrel on it. The one that stole the seed on the balcony.
Only they will know. Does Zach have eligibility for LSU basketball next season?
I have got a friend. His name's Braxton Miller. He literally DM'd Coach McMahon. Literally DM'd Matt McMahon.
Really?
He's got 2 years of eligibility left. He started every game here at Williams. He's honestly a really good shooter. This is the NAI Braxton Half, not Miller. Yeah, he's at the NAIA level. Hey, maybe pun intended. He shot his shot. I mean, he DM'd Matt McMahon. So get my boy. Pun intended. Y'all, everybody DM Matt McMahon. Braxton Half can hoop. Get him in there. Tell me, TA, thoughts on the Tennessee bat issue this weekend at Vandy. Zach, I mean, I knew about the whole situation. Do you know about that? You want to give your thoughts on it?
I honestly didn't see much on it. I know that Tony was absolutely livid.
Oh, he was livid
when it happened. So I'll allow you to speak on that. Give me some more insight because I honestly didn't really look that much into it other than, seeing it on social media going, oh, I got caught for having an illegal bat.
So, I mean, it really isn't an illegal bat so much as it wasn't I don't know what the proper term is, it was not approved bat. It's not an illegal bat. They had not approved the bat. So the way it works is before every series, you present every bat you have to the umpires and they put a sticker on it, right? Okay, and it has a date on it for that weekend. This bat is okay to use in this series. And this bat supposedly somehow lost its sticker, didn't have its sticker on it. Supposedly I heard it had a sticker on it from the midweek game or something like that. So it really isn't an illegal bat. It's a legal bat for the standards of college baseball, but it didn't have the proper sticker on it. And they took the runoff. And that was it. I can understand its frustration because it technically is a legal bat. But at the same time, dude, you're supposed to have an updated sticker on it. It is what it is. They ended up winning the game anyway, so it didn't matter. So,
Bobby, fire in some of those all-time favorites for us so we can wrap up the show with that. That'd be a good way to wrap up the show.
Oh, Leonard Fournette. Kevin Falk, absolutely. Leonard Fournette. Bobby put Dan? Oh my gosh. This boy put Danny Etling. All-time greatest game manager. JJ. Flow game. He really is, bro. It's Joe. Yeah, float game is from Zach is kind of ridiculous.
AD's got Skylar Green in there as well.
I think my all-time favorite baseball player, how to do it, is Cole Freeman. I love Cole Freeman, man. Maybe not your best player, but my favorite player.
Mine's same team, different player. It's probably Kramer. I love Kramer.
Yeah. Which is crazy because he has struggled so much before that season. Tremont Waters,
boo, that boy can shoot.
That last second shot layup against this man. That last second shot
Max
Maryland. Nah. Sorry, y'all. We're seeing our so there it is.
Moderator, our producer, whatever you want to call him. Kim Mulkey's son.
You know, I don't know if I shared the story on here. We actually got to meet Kim Mulkey in Oxford.
We did.
We came to, obviously we live in Mississippi, North Mississippi. Oxford is an easy hour away from where we lived. Freddie Mitchell, Mikey Maltuk. We love Mikey Maltuk. That's an OG.
Yes.
OG.
Actually, that actually might be my more favorite. That actually is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Over Kramer.
We got to meet Kim Mulkey. We went to Oxford to watch the series against Ole Miss, and we sat down, and sure enough, here comes Kim Mulkey, sits right behind us. So it was really awesome to get to meet her and get to know her, and here now she is at LSU, and she's one of the greatest women head coaches of all time. So it was actually really cool. It was actually hilarious. She actually screamed down at the first base umpire because she thought Kramer was safe on a play that he called him out. And she screamed out at the umpire, and some Ole Miss fan turned around and said some things to her, and she said some things back to him. It was kind of hilarious. I mean, really, her personality.
It also helps LSU won the game.
Yeah, her tenacious personality, as a fan was hilarious. So,
it was awesome.
Pretty awesome to meet her that night. Jacoby Jones, yeah. Love Jacoby. All right, guys, I think that's about all we got for tonight. We appreciate y'all participating in Tell Me TA. We love interacting. We enjoy having y'all all on. We're going to hit a quick break, and then we'll wrap up the show when we get back right after this. 5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. 5-Star Hero. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Tigers Avenue, for daily updates on the show and all things LSU sports. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to click off and hit that subscribe button at Tigers Avenue. We broadcast all of our shows live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. All right. It's been a great show, guys. We enjoyed interacting with y'all. We wanted to have a little bit of a laid-back show, a little bit more interaction, so we appreciate all y'all's comments. Shout out to the Balcony Bengals for getting in here and commenting. Gant, we appreciate it. Hopefully we can get you on here soon, Gant. Hopefully soon, sooner than you may think. We'd love to have you on, man. Can't wait to get you in here. Appreciate y'all listening and all your continued support. We'll see you next time in the Tigers Avenue. 5-Star Hero, take us out. Peace.
Who that 5-star? next up. And the LSU Tigers, LSU Tigers.